All right, it's been a few days since I've done recorded one of my vlogs, and today is March, what is it, the 6th? I think it's the 6th. And so let's see, a couple things as we've been walking through Lent and doing my deconstruction stuff. So if you're new to following me, I'm a former evangelical pastor who's deconstructing and trying to figure out what I'm doing next with my life after pastoring for 20 years. So anyway, today I had to submit my annual pastor's report. And for the first time in 13 years, I did not fill one out as a lead pastor. Actually, I didn't even know. They're like, what's your current title? And then what's your title going to be for next year? And they didn't have anything to put, like, because I was a lead pastor and now I'm nothing, and there was nothing in that category. So I left that blank. I guess they'll fill it in. And I had to choose my assignment for next year, which is unassigned. And that was I don't even know what to say about how I'm feeling about all of that. I did wonder if I could retire. Like, can I retire? Am I old enough to do that? Can I just file my credentials as a retired minister? I don't know. I guess I'll have to do some research on that. Anyway, I don't think I can. I don't qualify for a special assignment, which is basically you're working for a parachurch ministry, and it has, like, I read what it said in our bylaws, but anyway, I don't think I qualify right now. So I guess I'm unassigned for at least the next year. And anyway, not really sure how I feel about that. So hey, I know I have friends out there who have gone through this already. So any advice, or if you could just help me name what I'm feeling, because I don't even know what this is, that would be great too. Okay, so I had somebody comment on a different video about the Enneagram. I had been talking about the Enneagram, that I'm an Enneagram 6, and they were so they were just kind of asking some questions about it. And I got started with the Enneagram, it was several years ago, because my daughter was still in high school, and it was called The Road Back to You, Suzanne Stabile and Ian Crone. And I liked that. Like, you can do some online tests. There are some online tests. I think Beth McCord has one where you can do an online test, which is, I think, as far as the online tests go, hers is probably the most accurate. And she'll give you a couple of options. So usually there'll be like one or two that you score high in, and then she'll give reasons why she thinks you're probably this number versus the other number. And so I would check out that, but then you really need to read the book, because when you're reading the book, each chapter is dedicated to a specific number, and they talk about some different aspects to each number. So, like, when I was reading through the book, well, when I tested, when I took Beth McCord's test online, it said my top score was an Enneagram 5, and then my second score was an Enneagram 6, and they said, you're probably an Enneagram 6 because of this reason. Now, for me, it was because of the fear component, of what I was more afraid of lined up better with Enneagram 6 than with Enneagram 5. So they said you could be a 5 with a 6 wing or a 6 with a 5 wing. when you get into wings, that's a whole nother topic because people have some different ideas about wings. So I'm not going to get into that here. But when I read through the book and read through each chapter, you're reading through and you're like, well, that sounds like me. That could kind of be me, and this sounds like me, and this. And I got to 5, and I'm like, I really like. I wanted to be a 5. like I'm one of the weirdos. I'm like, I really want to be an Enneagram 5. And then I read the Enneagram 6, and I'm like, oh, I'm an Enneagram 6. And I started to cry. I'm like, I don't want to be a 6. I don't know. Does anybody want to be their number? Probably the 8s. Enneagram 8 wants to be their number. They're probably the only one. But yeah, I did not want to be an Enneagram 6, but so much of it fit, and it really did help me to look at myself from a different perspective and to kind of like to lean into some of my strengths, and then also to recognize some growth areas, and begin working on those. So since I see a counselor, it was a good place for me to start and identify some growth points that I wanted to discuss with her, and begin working through those things. So if you're so it's more than just like the Enneagram's more than just, oh, that was fun, right? It really is supposed to be a tool. I think it also can help you with if you're a person of faith, it can help you with your spiritual disciplines. So like for me, as an Enneagram 6, and I think in the Road Back to You, they actually give some suggestions in there. But I don't know. One of the books I read gave suggestions about spiritual disciplines. It could have been Richard Rohr's, though, because Richard Rohr also wrote a really good book on the Enneagram. Anyway, they talked about journaling for Enneagram 6s, which I absolutely love. I am a journaler. I have journals, and I have boxes of journals. And although I will tell you, the last 4 months since I left the church has been next to impossible to journal. Like I sit down and I try to write and I can't. And I'm supposed to be finishing a book and I can't. Like there is something blocking me from putting words on a page. Probably trauma, but whatever. Anyway, I'm hoping that it comes back because it was something I really enjoyed. But right now, I sit down and there's nothing. There's nothing. So anyway, I do want to encourage you also, Dauntless Grace. If I don't know if Dauntless Grace has a TikTok or not. I know they're on Instagram and Facebook. So anyway, if you're on either of those, check them out. I'll search for them on TikTok and see if they're on there too. But I guess I don't know if I'm following them or not. I guess I should check it out. Anyway, they're also great. They've been on my podcast twice. Well, Megan's been on my podcast twice. And we've talked about the Enneagram and deconstruction and stuff like that. And then we also talked about the Enneagram and spiritual disciplines. So anyway, that's where I'm at today. And I don't know, I think that's a lot. Have a great Wednesday.